impressive Korean athletes. Małgorzata Karbownik from Poland, relatively unknown on the pentathlon circuit, but she stormed into seeding round with 22 victories. Malak Ismail. And Malak is an interesting athlete, only 20 years of age, but is already an Olympian. And, I mean, she's a great athlete.
She's a great athlete, and so interesting because until last year she was one of the youngsters, and now she's one of the most experienced ones.
If you were to give age a number based on experience, she'd probably be late 20s, wouldn't she?
Soon to retire.
Yeah. Inri Choy, another very successful Korean turnout here so far in semi-finals after seeding round. Very much look forward to seeing how she gets on. Veronika Novotna has tasted success in Bulgaria before in Varna when we had the, it was actually in Albana, wasn't it, close to Varna when we had the World Cup there. She picked up a silver medal. That was probably her best performance to date. Aurora Tongeti's been starting well in competitions, but not been finishing off well. A laser run is something that she's been working on. She's a great all-round athlete, and if she could just get it right on the laser run, she could be a medalist. I think that's definitely what her aims will be. Vivian Mayer from the Swiss team.
Another younger Swiss athlete that it's gonna... She can do a lot, absolutely.
Elise Rinaldo is next out onto the course. Ilker Züksel, a multiple Olympian, a multiple World Cup medalist.
First big competitions after Paris for Ilker.
Be very curious to see how Ilker gets on the obstacle. Then we have Fu Jing. China are really sending a lot of athletes out to competitions, and they're getting a lot of athletes through to semi-finals. They'll be pleased with their showing so far this year. Alia Enietz.
Trying to do as good as she can.
Absolutely, and successful in the junior scene as well. Good to see her progressing through to seniors. Naomi Ezez.
She has done a great season so far.
Yeah, Hungarians just seem to be turning out talent, don't they? Hungary and Egypt, very much two of the leading teams in pentathlon. Katharina Yurt, I swear I've heard the name Yurt already today.
Another one of those siblings.
3 Yurt sisters in the semi-finals. Anna Yurt, her sister, qualified
She did.
for the final.
So Katarina is gonna try to make company.
She's quite good in the laser run, I think, Catherine.
Yeah, absolutely. Her OCR is great as well. We have another Chinese athlete coming in.
Wao Haran picked up 11 touches in the seeding round, settling her in on the same score as Blanka Guzzi, who finished 4th at the Olympic Games. I spoke with Blanka yesterday and I said, what's it like finishing 4th at the Olympics? Because that is probably, in some ways, one of the toughest positions. She said, I was quite happy, it's a good result. And I like that attitude, and that, I think, summarises Blanka Guzzi quite nicely. She is very positive. Talking about positivity,
Rebecca Castauri.
she's just good vibes, isn't she?
Always, always, and you can see it.
It's infectious as well. I like it. The smile. You know, she's down in, well, she was down in 17th place from. She didn't have a good seeding round, but it's irrelevant. She's now got a good chance to, you know, make some progress. Yuri Suzuki from Japan, final athlete to make her way out onto the stage. And that, folks, is our 18 stars for women's semi-final B. Only 9 of them have progressed through to the final. 9 will have to make way. Their competition will finish. Who makes it through to the final is anyone's guess. It's all still to play for. It's the battle for 9th here in semi-final B in the women's individuals. And we look forward to getting underway with more fencing action.
And also they're trying to get as many points, world ranking points, because it's the last World Cup of the season. So those athletes are going to try to qualify for the World Cup final that's going to be held in Alexandria later this year.
And this is the last chance, really, isn't it? And there's been quite a few different athletes competing this year, so it's not going to be as easy to get through to World Cup final as it was in previous years.
No, it's not certain for sure.
Rebecca Casti has a chance. She made it through to the final in Budapest. Casti, Guzzi, that's a great first round tie, isn't it?
Unfortunately, one of them is going to need to.
Well, that's true. They're both good laser runners. I think Guzzi's an exceptional laser runner. I think for Guzzi, she would potentially still have a chance to make her way through the field from back in 16th or 17th place. I think Casti will really look to get past Guzzi here. Priority is with Guzzi, and the first touch is with Guzzi, so Casti's in trouble already. 40 seconds left on the clock. Casti does need to get this next touch now, really, to stay in it, and she does. So, Casti won, Guzzi won, Suzuki won, Howran nil. And these round of 32 ties continue.
You can see Rebecca trying to get the attack, but it's a double. Casti has only 20 seconds on her to try to change her tactics and be able to get those 2 points, and she gets them. Great flash from Casti.
Casti's turned the tie around with 15 seconds to go. This is a good recovery. So, Guzzi now needs to get a touch in these final 6 seconds. Casti is inviting Guzzi to make a touch. Guzzi chose the wrong tactic there. She backed away and allowed Casti just to take her time, and now Casti staring down victory. Guzzi would need a miracle to turn it around from this point. Can't see it happening. Well, there's one. I mean, I don't know if that was even given. I don't think it was. So that's it. That will be Casti just taking a big step backwards. No, she's attacked. And there we go. 4-2. That is Casti safely through to the next round. Good for her.
Yeah, and Guzzi unfortunately drops out of the tableau. 16.
Just replays the final moments there. Casti looked like she wrapped that up there. There's the touch just under the left shoulder of Guzzi. Right shoulder, should I say. And we keep the entertainer on the stage. Emma Whitaker is next up on the stage, and she will go up against Casti. So it doesn't get any easier for Casti. She now is facing the highest ranked fencer from the seeding round. Can she win it?
Well, we saw the Lithuanian athlete earlier today managed to climb so many places, so nothing is certain.
Yeah, we saw Michelle Guyash lose out after being the highest seeded fencer in Cairo.
Yeah.
So 20 seconds in and nothing to really report on at the moment. They're jostling for position.
And Casti, you know, has been working along her fencing, and she has proven that the last 2 competitions. So
yeah, this is really interesting, this tie. No touches yet. The clock continues to tick down. Paused on 24 seconds. And Whitaker will be nervous here because a touch from Casti could end up being enough. 20 to go, and Whitaker does get that touch, and that's massive. Sore one that for Whitaker, but sometimes you have to put your body on the line, and Casti now needs to turn it around, like she did in the last bout, by the way. We won't rule her out, 15 seconds to go. And for the sake of keeping things close, it would be interesting if Casti does get the next touch.
You could see her changing her tactic, getting more aggressive, trying not to lose time, but still not do. And she does a flash. And she gets the point.
Wow, so we're into the final 10. Still Whitaker with the advantage, but Castaudi's kept things interesting with now just over 5 seconds to go. And Castaudi needs to find a touch. The clock is ticking, and I think we're going to have some time added back on. Castaudi looks a bit frustrated there. Are we going to get a little bit of time added? It doesn't look like it. So a second for Castaudi to get the touch, but she doesn't get it. Whitaker just about gets past Rebecca Castaudi. The highest seeded fence has done well there. It's good tactics, and Whitaker's through to the quarterfinals. Good work from her. Suzuki and Shin was a bout that we can still see on the top right-hand corner there. I think Suzuki's won that. So round of 32 done, round of 16 is underway, and we welcome our next bout onto the stage.
We have Alicia Rinaldo on the left side. She was she's still a great athlete from the B team, the Italians, one of the many great Italians.
Viviane Meyer has priority, so Rinaldo has to be the more aggressive fencer in these early stages. And she does get that first touch. Priority is the most fascinating part of fencing, I think, because when you're in the seeding round, or previously as it was known, the ranking round, there's no priority, was there? So if the clock took down to 0, there'd be no score for either fencer.
Exactly. No, the priority really rules the whole fencing bout.
Yeah. Meyer versus Rinaldo. Meyer looking to try and get herself back into this. Zuxel Tongyetti is on the other piece, by the way. That an interesting tie. Tongyettti's taking the first touch in that one, so Zuxel with work to do. Zuxel, a very, very good laser runner. Although, interestingly, it's kind of changed a bit, laser run, hasn't it? Because it used to be that the likes of Ilka Zuxel would be so hard to stay
Absolutely,
in front
but she has been working a lot on her fencing lately.
But and also a lot of other athletes have got quicker as well, haven't they? So that gap has closed.
Absolutely.
3-1 in that bout. 3-0. Elitse is leading in Piste Day. So the Meyer, the higher ranked athlete now, has to find 3 touches. She's in big trouble here, and it's 4 for Rinaldo, and it's all come unstuck for Meyer. I mean, there wasn't much in between these two. Rinaldo 9th in the seeding round, Meyer 8th. And psychologically, Rinaldo has going to be really full of confidence there. It's an absolute whitewash, 5-0. Zuxel Tongyetti continues, but Zuxel needs 3 in the final 6 seconds. You'll see in the top right corner, I think Tongjetti's still on it. Yeah. So we're making our way through the round of 16, and then in the quarterfinals, it's all eyes on one piece. It gets a little bit easier to follow the action then.
We have Ayanet from Egypt, fencing together with Choy from Korea.
Ayanet and Choy. Ayanet so successful in the junior circuit. Can she turn those results into senior World Cup medals? Phil Novotny on piece B. That's in the top right of your screen on the picture-in-picture. And Ayanet gets the touch. Have you competed in direct elimination yet?
No, I haven't.
Looking forward to it?
Yes. I think it's much more important than what it was before, because things can absolutely turn around, even if you have a bad day on the seeding round.
What's nice, though, is it's when it gets to the final, you kind of have a clean slate then, don't you?
Mm-hmm, exactly.
I mean, you still have the advantage of having had a good seeding round, meaning you're not going to finish below 9th. And let's be honest, 9th place is...
It's not bad.
It's not bad at all, is it? You can still do something. You can still be dangerous.
But you know, even if you're last because of the direct elimination, you can still finish in the top after the direct elimination.
It closes the back up, doesn't it? It makes fencing less of a swing, I feel, than it was in the past.
Yeah, and I think the most important thing is that it makes it much more important now. The bonus round was a bit not as important as it is now.
Agreed. Ayanet and Choy have gone into the final 7 seconds, level on points. It's 4 all. A double touch now wouldn't count as points. They would stay on 4 all. So there needs to be an outright winner. It's not often you get this scenario. Choy will be looking to tick the clock down. Ayanet needs to get a touch. Choy, of course, with the priority. You can see a little star next to her name. Fu Novotna's gone down to 0. That's Fu who's won that one. Ayanet and Choy into the final 5 seconds. Ayanet needs to find a touch now in these final few moments here. She approaches and she gets it. Ayanet wins it with a second to go in the most dramatic of fashions. Big win that there from the young Egyptian. She's through to the quarterfinals.
Great attack from the Egyptian athlete. Getting the distance right and flashing at the Korean athlete.
I mean, you see the Korean there just tried to back out, didn't she?
Yeah, she tried to do a stop her, but Ayanet had a great distance, great feeling, so she got the point.
Katarina Yurts and Kabovnik are next to take each other on piste B. Ezez and Malik Ismail on piste A. Does having an Olympian give you like a bit of confidence? Does it like make you feel like you've got a presence about you? When you walk to the shops in the morning, do you think, yeah, I'm an Olympian, just walk into the shops?
I mean, for sure, on the track, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know, and it's more people being aware that, oh, she's an Olympian.
It's something like 99% of the world dreams of doing, and 1% get to do.
Yeah.
So we have an Olympian next to us in the commentary box. We have an Olympian on piste A. Malik Ismail looking to pick up her first silverware of the 2025 season. Got to get into the final first.
Point.
Got to get past the tricky Ezez. Needs to get through to the final in order to be in with a chance of winning medals. This is all about qualifying. It's all about that top 9 battle. This is a unique part of this sport where the most important place is 9th place. Yurts and Kabovnik 2-1 to Kabovnik. Malik Ismail's going well here. She is effectively 3 to the good. Mohammed Shaban in the crowd watching on with the Egyptian team there, watching Malik perform a fencing masterclass here. Kabovnik's just 1 away. Katharina Yurt will have to settle for round of 16, I think.
Yeah. No, MS has got to do something very well, but it's Malik Ismail again. So I would say she's pretty much through.
4-1 to Ismail, and she's got priority, and might as well. Well, she's conceded the hit there, but might as well start planning for the quarterfinals, because there we go, just retreating back, and Malik Ismail progresses through. That's 2 Egyptians safely through to the quarterfinals, Ismail and Ayanet. So Whitaker, Shin, Kabovnik, Ismail, Whitaker, all safely through. Solid that from Malik Ismail. What's she like to fence against? Have to think back.
She's one of the fencers that it's really hard to predict what she's gonna do. She has a huge variety in her fencing. So I think it's great to fence her.
Really? It improves you as a fencer? Fencing against fencers like that? If you win, it does. If you lose, maybe not.
Maybe that, but the more you train with that kind of a fencers, maybe not the competition, but...
Rinaldo versus Whitaker, now our first of the quarter-final ties. We'll see every piece on the every fence on the main piece now. All of them happening on piste A. Whitaker was relatively comfortable against Casti in the end. Oh no, she wasn't. It was only like 1 point the difference thinking back.
Yeah.
So she's had to work hard to get to this position, Whitaker.
We have a halt there. Rinaldo fixing her cable.
Good sportsmanship there from Whitaker. And we're back underway. Whitaker looking to get herself back on the podium for the first time since 2021. Good laser runner, Whitaker.
Absolutely.
She got unlucky there not to have got the touch. She's got priority. And she will go into every tie with priority, and that's something we haven't necessarily reflected on. That mind frame of every tie having a priority, it makes a difference. You can dictate the pace of the bouts a little bit more.
Absolutely. You don't need to rush things. You're much more comfortable with your bouts.
So we're taking down into the final 17 seconds. Whitaker with the touch. And that is a big step towards a semi-final place for Whitaker. And even now you can start to relax a little bit, can't you? Whitaker has to get past obstacle, of course. She wants to give herself as much of a lead as she can, as many points as possible. I think Rinaldo got the touch there, does she?
She did.
Ooh, this makes it interesting. So maybe now we're a little bit early with predicting a victory for Whitaker. Rinaldo is giving herself a chance with 5 to go. Can she find a way past Whitaker? She can't. Whitaker's too quick.
Rinaldo has only 4 seconds on her.
Oh, there's a double touch. So Rinaldo needs to find a touch now. Whitaker just retreating back. Time's going to run out. It does. So Elite not quite managing her time efficiently there. Whitaker makes her way through to the semi-finals. She's really had to work for these, but she's done it. And that's good fencing from Whitaker.
You know, interesting thing about Alicia Rinaldo is that she had the Youth 19 world record in fencing. I think she got it 2000.
How many touches was that, do you remember?
Well, I think she had only 1 or 2 defeats.
Wow. That's crazy.
That was impressive.
Because I think the senior world record, as you can see, Farida Khalil watching on her competition for Sunday's final with her father/coach in the sidelines. I think the senior world record was it Song Song?
Was it?
Kate French had 30 at one point, the Olympic gold medalist from
That's
Tokyo.
impressive.
I think Song Song might have gone one better with 31, but you forgive me if I'm wrong on that, because I'm trying to remember stats off the top of my head here. That one's not written down. But here we go, continuing Tong Yeti and Shin in these round of 16 ties, the second round of 16 ties now. Whitaker's already through to the semi-finals.
So you mentioned the younger athlete has a priority. Tugnetti has been on the scene for many years now.
Yeah, an experienced athlete. Always seems to be at the upper echelons of competitions, Tong Yeti. She's consistent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Needs to find a way past Shin here, the young Korean. 30 seconds to go, no touches yet.
Xiumin Shin, another left-hander.
Tong Yeti with the touch. So Tong Yeti claims effectively priority through that, doesn't she? 1-0 to the good. Now Shin has to attack. Tong Yeti's not retreating though, she's holding her ground. I can see her maybe only 1 or 2 more touches coming here, and Tong Yeti gets it, and now this is a difficult challenge for Shin.
Only 15 seconds left.
Tong Yeti's just going to try and bide her time now. Shin has to be aggressive. If Tong Yeti can get the next touch, that will all but guarantee her place in the final. Into the final 10 we go. And I think Tong Yeti
got it.
Yeah, she did, didn't she? So that's now 3 to the good. And Tong Yeti can join Whitaker in the semi-final.
She gets another one.
And it's 4-0, and Tong Yeti's going to head into the semi-final in great form. She wouldn't fence against Whitaker until the final. It's a clean sweep for Tong Yeti. She storms through to the semi-finals. Aurora Tong Yeti in good form once again. Just seeing the replays there then of that bout between Shin and Tong Yeti.
You could see the Korean athlete just rushing at the end, trying to get the points. So Togneti was just waiting.
Just good at OCR, Togneti. Do you guys swap tips behind the scenes? You go, oh, maybe we could try this or try that.
Not really. I think at one point you're gonna fence them. So.
Sorry, I meant in obstacle, because it's obviously a new discipline. Do you kind of like give each other tips, or?
Yeah, I think so, but it's not that common. But you can absolutely see it.
Because of course fencing is the only discipline where you're actually competing directly against each other. Oh well, I suppose laser run is the difference, but you're kind of really competing against yourself in laser run even then, aren't you? Because you're just trying to go as fast as you can. It's what other people do is down to them. Whereas here you're directly fighting each other, aren't you? It's the combative discipline, as we see Fu and Gabovnik trying to find that first touch.
Fu was able to duck and avoid the flash from Gabovnik, so she gets the first point.
So we're heading towards the semi-finals now. We're in the last couple of round of 8 ties, and there's going to be Ishmael and Ayanet, which is going to be an interesting quarter-final tie.
2 teammates.
Yeah. Whitaker and Togneti are safely through. So Fu is looking good here. 2-2-0 versus Gabovnik, who has the priority. And that's a double touch, was it?
Yeah, so it's 3-1 for the Chinese.
Gabovnik needs 2. It's not impossible with 17 to go. She needs the next touch, though, realistically, to be able to turn this round. Closing in now on the final 10 seconds. Gabovnik launches herself. She needed that touch to land.
And it's a double.
So Gabovnik is as good as defeated here, because unless she can find 2 touches in 5 seconds, which is not impossible, they have to be 2 very quick-fire touches. And given the way that this bout's gone, I was going to say it doesn't seem possible, but there's one. Now she needs a second. Fu is going to be full of nerves. 3 seconds to go. Gabovnik knows what she's got to do. She needs to get a touch. She doesn't do it. Fu's ready this time. And Fu makes her way through to the semi-final. Actually,
I think the Chinese softly managed to touch the wall behind.
Ooh.
So there is no point.
No. So we continue. Gabovnik lives to see another day. 1.6 on the clock to go, and this time Fu does get the touch. Whew, you can see how much that meant to her. That's I think the gap from quarterfinals to semi-finals, it feels like quite a big leap, that, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And all those points, they're very precious. So we're gonna have Whitaker and Ismail Malak, I believe, in one semi-final, and then
Ismail Malak has to get past her teammate first, though, doesn't she? She has to defeat Ayanet, and this is the next tie that comes up. Your prediction is Malak, then? Is it?
Too fast.
Let's find out. Mystic Marlena predicting the future. Could be right. Malak Ismail's looked good here, but she's got to get past her teammate. I'd say it's the young versus the old, but there's not even 40 years between these two, and it is Ayanet that strikes first. Ismail with the priority. Very much still a danger in this tie, but it's a solid start from Ayanet. Oh, and Malak Ismail gets the touch.
Great attack from Malak, responding on her first point, tying up the score. Double.
Interesting tie, this one. 2 all with only 20 seconds gone. It's good to see so much action in the opening stages. It might calm down a little bit now, but perhaps not. An erratic tie, and it is Malak Ismail that gets the next touch in this interesting chapter between 2 Egyptian teammates. Who sees it through? Currently looks like it's going to be Malak, but if Ayanet can get the next touch, then she is very much within distance. It feels like this one will go to 5 rather than tick down to 0. Ayanet does get the next touch. We're at 3-all. What a quarter-final this is turning out to be. A double touch now would take it to 4-all. 25 seconds left on the clock. Still Malak Ismail has the advantage, but not by much. Only with the priority. 20 seconds to go. Let's calm down a little bit now, and Ayanet gets that touch. And is now just one touch away from having turned this tie around. Moments ago, she was 3-2 down. Now on the verge of victory. Malak Ismail has to find something with 10 seconds to go. Here we go, folks. Strap yourselves in. Final few moments of this bout.
And Ayanet gets...
Oh, wow. Ayanet has upset the more experienced, the Olympian. Malak Ismail crashes out of the quarterfinals. And there, folks, are your 4 athletes in the semi-finals. It's Whitaker. It is Malak Ismail. It's Fu. And it's Tongyeti.
Yes.
Interesting moments there. I still think Malak Ismail will get through, but you can see that she's in 7th place overall. She will be 24 points off the lead, and that's significant. Here we go then, semi-final 1. It is Ayanet versus Whitaker. Whitaker now one of the more experienced athletes, which feels crazy to me because I swear she only broke onto the scene feels like months ago, but it was quite a few years ago now. It's 2021. No, sorry, 2022 that she won. 22 she won her first World Cup medal in Cairo. It was the beginning of the new format, first event.
Yes.
Just after the rearranged Tokyo Olympic Games. That's the reason I've mistakenly lost a year there. Blame COVID. Ayanet takes the first touch. So Whitaker has to come back now. Ayanet's looking very good here.
And she responds on that, does a flash and gets the point.
So Whitaker not going anywhere and asserts her authority once again. That felt good, didn't it?
Still 25 seconds on the clock, so a lot of things can happen.
Certainly can. And Whitaker does get the touch. So, Whitaker now on the verge of a place in the final, unless can Ayanet respond. She's done so well to get this far into the semi-finals.
Emma Whitaker gets another point.
So Whitaker now looking pretty set for a place in the final. She deserves it as well. She's had to graft her way through these ties. This is probably the most assured she's been in the semi-final stage. Whitaker 4-1 now. And you can't see any other outcome from this tie other than a Whitaker final. Scrappy there, and Ayanet
got a point.
Got a point, so we're still going here, 7 to go.
Not impossible, but Whitaker gets the point and she's through to the final.
And that's the danger at that point of a matchup, is in those final 5 seconds when you need points, you have to commit. Whitaker was ready, and she's through to the final. Emma Whitaker's fine fencing form continues. I think we will see Emma Whitaker in the final. Based on current form, she's looking very solid indeed. And I'm not just talking about the final of fencing direct elimination. I think she's going to make her way through to Sunday's final, but still a long way to go. We're towards the end of our first of 5 disciplines, but things start to go by a little bit quicker now because the obstacle is around 10-15 minutes, I think, would you say? And then swimming around 10-15 minutes, and then laser on around 10-15 minutes, so this is probably the longest part of the competition. Fu versus Tongyeti. This is the first season in which direct elimination has been in place. Do you feel there is the potential perhaps to bring down the time of these fencing bouts? Could be a little bit shorter, perhaps 50, 45 seconds, because there's not a lot of action in those first 15 seconds, is there? Usually.
No, you know, the bonus round was only half a minute, it was only 30 seconds. Now they've doubled, but of course
it's first to 5, isn't it?
Exactly.
That's the point of it, I suppose, and it's more a case of if you do have a good seeding round and then suddenly you lose a couple of bouts, you don't want that to be your only fencing experience. So it's about giving fencers the opportunity to express themselves. I do understand it, and I think a minute is a good time. It's enjoyable either way. Fu versus Tongyeti for this final place in the final. Tongyeti's looking good so far with that first touch and, of course, with priority, but Fu is not giving up here and is starting to put pressure on her opponent. Quick footwork from Tognetti makes it a little bit less predictable. Fu just takes a moment to think about where to attack, and it's clever by Tognetti, who finds her way through, and I think in doing so we'll find our way through to the final now, because it's 2-0 with 14 to go.
Fu is gonna try to change her tactic, putting a bit more pressure on Tognetti, and she does it.
So Fu keeps this going, needs 2 from the final 7.
Good luck.
Oh, she levels the scores, so it's good recovery from Fu.
She has 4 seconds on her.
Well, definitely has a chance now. Fu looks energised. Ooh, Tognetti, though, once again is clever. And we're not ruling Fu out because she's already made us eat those words, but 2 seconds is going to be tough. Double touch is not enough. Fu needs 2 with 1.08 to go.
I think we're gonna see Aurora in the final.
It's done now, isn't it? You can't really, yeah. Aurora just backs off, and there we go. Aurora Tognetti versus Emma Whitaker. Our final bouts here in fencing direct elimination, women's semi-final B. Top 9 qualify for the final. Currently, it's Choy and Novotna battling for that 9th place, but at the minute, it's all about this fencing direct elimination final.
Still a long day in front of us, so nothing is certain.
Well, and also what I will say is the final of direct elimination feels a little bit more poignant in the final itself, doesn't it? Because obviously we're battling for the top 3, where here, I think Emma Whitaker, if offered 9th place now, would say, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, but you know, with pentathlon, you never know. It can be up to that 1 second.
Completely. You've got to battle for every point. A minute left then of fencing direct elimination. Tognetti versus Whitaker. Priority with Whitaker. Tognetti's looked very solid on this tournament, and she starts off well with the first touch, 8 seconds in.
Emma Whitaker is gonna look up to respond on down.
She's done it before. Whitaker's grafted her way through to this final, as has Tognetti. These two here on merit. Into the final 30 seconds this bout now heads, and Whitaker has to find a way past Aurora Tognetti, who's been very clever with their fencing, very tactical. It's a game of chess from Tognetti, and Whitaker is trying to make her move. Double touch. I think Whitaker thought there for a second she had got that touch. Tom Toulis, former British athlete, now British coach, watching on and offering encouragement. 20 seconds left on the clock. Can Whitaker find a way past Tognetti? She gets the touch and levels the scores. Big that from Whitaker. Fencing direct elimination final. Tognetti versus Whitaker. Priority with Whitaker. Whitaker's clawed her way back into this with 10 seconds to go. It would currently be Whitaker who would win the tie. Tognetti tries to get down low and does get the touch. She finds a way past Whitaker, and Whitaker, having levelled the score, now has all the work to do again with 7 seconds left.
You can see the tactics changing directly. Now it's again Whitaker that needs to be pressing on Tognetti.
Final couple of seconds then, here it comes. And the clock stops with 0.9. Double touch, and Whitaker is going to have to absolutely catapult herself at Tognetti. Tognetti backs away, and there you go. Aurora Tognetti is victorious. Whitaker settles for 2nd place. Still 244 very useful points. Brilliant up from Tognetti. Fu in 3rd, Aniet in 4th. Shin 5th, Kabotnik 6th. Ishmael 7th, Rinaldo 8th. But it's the battle for the top 9. That is what semi-finals is all about. Get inside the top 9, and we'll see you on Sunday for Super Sunday, the conclusion. So we're 5 minutes away from the start of obstacle. And these are your standings. And don't pay too much attention to those green and red arrows. Although they're significant, they're just in reference to the seeding round. Tongyeti moving up 6 places. She's in 1st place. Whitaker 2nd. Fu 3rd. Eniat 4th. Shin 5th. Karbovnik in 6th place. Eniat moving up quite significantly there, you could see. Ismail 7th. Rinaldo 8th. And this is where things get interesting. Choy in 9th place. Novotna in 10th. Meyer in 11th place, Azuxo in 12th. And then we'll see the third of this semi-final. Ezes Yurt, Castaldi, Suzuki, Wu and Guzzi with work to do. That's that then. Fencing direct elimination is over. We're going to build up to obstacle, but first let's just check out the highlights from fencing. So here we are then, back watching the action here in Bulgaria. And that there is the fencing direct elimination over. Time now for the obstacle, where, of course, the athletes have to make their way past these 8 obstacles as quickly as they possibly can. Women's semi-final B is underway, and we're going to check out what it's like to be on the head of an athlete. We've popped the camera on the head of one of our athletes. We're not sure which one, but I don't think it really is important. Through the big wheel into the tilting ladders, and that's great technique, isn't it? Over, under, through. And the wheels here, you kind of have to just sort of do that with this side, through the giant steps, and this bit's difficult, isn't it?
We've got the climbing holds here.
Those famous climbing holes. But they're easier than the globes, I think, aren't they? Or...
Absolutely, yeah.
Everyone hates the globes. Up, finish wall, slam. Now, we could probably work out who that was, because there's quite a poignant tattoo on the left forearm of that athlete. But there we go. That is the start list we're going to see now for the obstacle. Guzzi and Wu will be up first. Suzuki, Castaldi, Yurt and Ezes. I think we're a couple of minutes away from that first heat. Zuxel, Meyer, Novotna and Choy, Rinaldo and Ismail. And you can see Tongyeti and Whitaker once again locked in battle. They'll be in the final heat. Tongyeti's a quick obstacle athlete. God, I don't remember how fast Whitaker is. We'll find out.
I think she's a solid OCR athlete. But in their situation, they're just going to try to keep up their position. The athletes behind, they're going to try to be as fast as possible and try to close that gap.
Do you think next year we'll start to see some of the more senior athletes coming back into the picture? Will we see an Ahmed Al-Gindi or
Absolutely. You know, it's always like that first season after the Olympics, we see all the younger athletes getting through, and most of the Olympians, they're taking their time.
That is what, after Tokyo, we didn't get. Breathing space. Because Tokyo was 2021, Paris 2024, we only had 3 years. It flew by.
Yep.
LA 2028, that feels like ages away.
But you know, it was still
you'll be late 20s by then.
Don't say that.
Here we go. First 2 athletes to take part in obstacle. Wu and Guzzi. Guzzi and Wu. Guzzi's pretty quick on her.
She is, and she's gonna be trying to get those important points to climb the positions.
Big wheel into the tilting ladders. Tilting ladders are really tough.
But that's a great technique from Guzzi.
Oh yeah, Guzzi. Now, don't come up too quickly. Through part into the wheels. Great. Oh, she slips. Is she okay? That's a big fall from Guzzi, and she's not getting up too quickly. I think she probably. She's okay. Guzzi's slowed right down, and I mean, is that a kind of... Anyway, let's focus on Wu. Wu wins the heats. I think Guzzi's taken... She's at least been winded by that, hasn't she? Up the finish wall. Let's see if we can read the body language there. Respectful to her competitor alongside her, 51 for Guzzi. She's lost about 15 seconds.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate for Blanka Guzzi. She's not going to be pleased with that. Hopefully she didn't get hurt in that fall.
Yeah, hard luck to Guzzi. I still would rule her out. I'd never rule out Blanka Guzzi.
No.
Suzuki and Casti next up. What do you think from 9th place? Do either of these two have a chance of gaining up to 9th place from here?
Casti, it's a great laser runner, so we've seen her climb places.
Good momentum that from both athletes. Casti takes the lead. Over, under and through, 15 seconds on the clock into the wheels. Good technique, great technique from Casti into the giant steps. Climbing walls, climbing holes to go. Casti's looking quick here, it has to be said. This is solid from Casti. Finish wall, buzzer, and it's around 35.4. Good time from Casti, quickest time so far. Suzuki buzzer, 44.8.
Great run from Casti, she's going to be pleased with that.
Yeah, I think she'll be very pleased with that. It's moved her 23 points ahead of Wu. Suzuki's score yet to be added. This was where she really started to build momentum. Solid that from Casti. I was very impressed. Strong athlete. We wish her the best. From there, you never know. Eshez and Yurt next. Katharina Yurt, I'm quite interested to see her time.
Yeah, she's one of the best OCR athletes.
Very quick start.
Although taking it easier here.
Eshez is flying through those opening stages. Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness me. Good pace there. And this is where Yurt, you feel, is starting to come into her own. Giant steps.
They're pretty much neck to neck. Katarina has a small advantage.
Oh, she's lost some time there through the climbing hole. She's gone. Oh, my goodness me. And that is a fold that's going to be costly to Yurt. Eshez, buzzer. Woo. So, oh, and it's elimination for Yurt. And that's it. Katharina Yurt's competition, just like that.
It's over.
It's over. It's like, we say this every competition, but it's the same as if you fall off a horse, basically,
Absolutely.
isn't it? Gone like that.
Yep.
Oh, it's so close as well. Could have been so different for Yurt, but it will be just one Yurt sister in the final.
We have another Swiss athlete coming up together with İlke Özüksel from Turkey.
I would not read too much into those times, but what I would say is the difference in age. Özüksel 28, Naya 17. They're a generation apart, but this is pentathlon now. Let's see how Özüksel's getting on. I know she's been enjoying obstacle. This is good stuff. Good start from Özüksel. Paris and Tokyo Olympian, is showing that she's picked up obstacle quickly and well. Maya leads, Azuxel second, and Maya does now move into a good lead through the wheels. You can see Azuxel in the back of your shot there. And Maya now into the climbing holes. Solid this from Maya. It's going to be close to the PB for this course today, 37. What about Azuxel? I think Azuxel's had a fault.
She did.
Through the climbing holes. So Azuxel's competition hangs on the line here. Needs to just get past here, and then she can worry about chasing down the top 9 later. Here we go. You got this, Ilka. There we go, Azuxel with a strong finish. It's going to be around 1 minute. But listen, well done. Azuxel hasn't had long to train on obstacle. An accomplished rider. And that will put Azuxel probably in second from last. It does. Maya seems happy with that. Azuxel with work to do now.
You can tell how expensive it is. One fall and you drop.
20, 30 points easy.
Absolutely.
It's worse than a refusal in riding, isn't it? Interestingly, there are parallels in the scoring between riding and obstacle. Novotná and Choy.
Another Olympian. She has been working on her OCR as well the recent months.
Oh, Choy's down. So Choy with a fault now has to go back round and start again. Novotná has to focus. The tilting ladders are not easy at all. I think they're a big part of those blisters that you get on your hands come from the tilting ladders, don't they?
They do.
Over, under, through she goes, onto the wheels. Slowly but surely for Novotná.
It's always better than elimination.
Choy's come back strong here, by the way. She's already caught Novotná and might actually take the lead.
I think he has just done that.
Choy moves up into first place, and Choy will win the heat. Up the finish wall she goes. This is not a quick time from either athlete, but gets it done. And
Novotná didn't manage to get the buzzer.
That's frustrating. She's lost a couple of seconds there, and that will cost her a few points. Choy drops into provisional 6th place, Novotná 8th. What's the gap between Novotná and Azuxel? Only 7. Azuxel's hanging on. Elite Rinaldo is next out. Malak Ismail alongside her.
Malak Ismail with a better OCR time here.
Off we go then. Malak's great at obstacle. Clearly she's been working hard. Good technique there. That must be so sore on the shoulders, but she's done brilliantly there. Over, under and through. Into the wheels. Whew. Nice one. Into the steps she goes. Climbing holes now for Malak Ismail. Is this going to be the fastest time of the day so far? It could well be. Malak Ismail's looking very good here. Finish wall. Buzzer, that's brilliant from Malak Ismail. 35.29, the fastest time of the day so far. And Rinaldo's not too far off the pace, 44.
Not bad time from Alicia Rinaldo either.
So, solid that from Malak Ismail.
She's happy with that. I think we saw her eliminated in Cairo, so she was not happy. But then she has proved, both in Budapest and here, that she's getting
stronger by the event, isn't she?
Absolutely.
Kabovnik and Shin. I think as the athletes get better and better at obstacle, we could start to see more consistent times between 20 and 30 seconds. Kabovnik and Shin. Oh, brilliant from Kabovnik. Excellent pace through the ladders. into the wheels. This is great pace from Kubovnik. Giant steps and into the climbing holes. Kubovnik looks to get the fastest time of the day up towards the finish, and there it is, the fastest time of the day from Kubovnik. Shin going well here as well, sub 40, solid time from both athletes. Kubovnik will go into first place with that. And there we go, Kubovnik is 7 points ahead of Malak Ismail.
We have only 2 heats left, the top 4 athletes.
Ying Fu and Aliyah Ayanet. Our penultimate bouts. Ayanet with some good technique here. Good stuff.
Comfortable pass from Alia.
Yeah, really solid that from Anya. Aliyah flying and just has to get past the climbing holes. Fu coming back strong here. Up the finish wall, it's going to be sub 40. Solid time that from Ayanet. And Fu gets the touch, 45 seconds. So, those are your standings after the first 8 heats. 1 heat to go.
We have Emma Whitaker and Aurora Tugnetti in the last heat.
Whitaker and Tognetti locked in this duel at the top, and away we go. Oh, good technique there from both athletes. Tognetti solid here. Whitaker with a good swing on that final tilting ladder. Tognetti slightly in the lead, but it's all about keeping a consistent pace throughout. Into the wheels we go. Good technique from both these athletes. Tognetti moves into the lead, into the climbing holes. And Tognetti will win the heat. How good a time will this be, though? 33. Solid by Whitaker. 37. Both looking pleased with themselves. And that'll put them, I think, in first and maybe Whitaker down to 4th. She's still in 2nd. There we go. Tognetti with a good gap at the top.
You know, both athletes stated exactly what they needed to do. They managed to keep their places, and that was the important thing.
Must say I'm impressed by Whitaker.
Great run from her as well.
So just 5 minutes now, the gap. 2:07, it's not a big gap between obstacle and swimming, is it? Apparently it's a 5-minute gap between the obstacle.
Only 5 minutes, yes.
We'll take it. We like the competition moving by quickly. We'll have some interviews with some athletes as well to fill the time. Let's take a look at the standings. So, Tognetti and Whitaker leading the way. Kubovnik, Ismail, Ayanet and Shin in 3rd to 6th. Maya, Fu, and now Casti has moved up 7 places, up into 9th. Ezes moves up 4th into 10th. But let's have a look. 9th is on 5:45, and that's quite a gap now between Wu and Casti. 5:45 is the time to catch. What about anyone further back? 5:45 is going to be difficult for Guzzi to catch, but...
You know, we've seen her before. She's a good swimmer as well, so I think she's gonna use that in the pool soon.
Who
and
knows?
hopefully qualify.
It's everything still to play for. We'll watch the replays and the highlights of the obstacle, and then we'll build up to the next discipline, the swimming. So that was a recap of the obstacle. And let's see how the competition moves on. That is goodbye to the obstacle course. Now we're off to the pool, where it's a 50-meter swimming pool, 4 lengths of the pool to complete the 200 meters. Fast over the finish line is the winner. Faster the swim, the more points you get. You're competing against all 17 other athletes. No extra points awarded for winning a heat, but it is always exciting to see who the top 3 in heats. Let's hear now from Karina Yurt, who's giving us her thoughts ahead of swimming.
Hello, it's Florina Yurt again. Today I'm explaining the change from the obstacle to the swimming. So after the obstacle, obviously your arms are a little bit tired. So what I try to do is shake them to shake the lactate away, and then I try to focus on what's next, swimming. So I'll try to change as fast as possible, and then I go to the pool, try to do some warm up, and when there is some time, I'll swim a little bit, directly jump in the pool. What I try to do in the swimming is, well, it depends on how good I am positioned. When I'm good, I know like today, I didn't go all out, because for me it's harder to get the lactate away in the next day. So I just try to go on a good pace, and yeah.
Good to hear from one of the Yurt sisters as always. One of the other Yurt sisters has got a battle. Unfortunately, Katharina Yurt was eliminated from the obstacle, so she won't really have a chance now. There she is in swimming heat 1. Zuxel, Novotna, Guzzi, Choy and Suzuki, the other 5 athletes in the first swimming heat. Here they come.
Representing Japan, Yuri Suzuki. Element 2, representing Korea, Choy. Element 3, representing
We're most likely gonna see Blanca, Guzzi and Zuxel trying to push as hard as they can to be able to climb some places.
Element 5, representing Turkey, Whitaker. And lane 6, representing Switzerland, Katharina Yurt.
So those are your 6 athletes for swimming heat 1. And here they are, getting themselves ready. And we're underway, the first of 3 swimming heats. Suzuki, Choy, Guzzi, Novotna, Zuxel and Yurt. Keep your eyes on Guzzi and Zuxel, because they pretty much have to give this everything now, don't they?
Yeah, they have nothing to lose here. Unfortunately for Katharina Yurt, she can just do a good training session out of that, but her competition is over. But athletes like Guzzi and Zuxel gotta do Gotta push as much as they can right now.
So these are your live pictures from the pool here in Pazardzhik, Bulgaria, with the athletes looking to try to make up as much time as they can. We're at the halfway stage of swimming heat 1, and touching the wall first is Yuri Suzuki, who out of this group of athletes probably, I think it's fair to say, has the best chance of qualifying. I mean, she's the highest ranked of these athletes.
For sure, one of the younger athletes, proving.
She's already got a big gap over the likes of the Zuxel and Guzzi, so solid start to the swim this from Suzuki. Maybe she's gone a little bit early. Let's see if she can maintain this pace. There's the turn. And this is the final 50 meters of this first of 3 swimming heats. Suzuki with the initial quick time as we approach the final few meters. I think she's dropped maybe a couple of seconds on her chasing pack, but it's a solid time this for Yuri Suzuki of Japan. As she approaches the wall and touches, it's a 2:18. In second place is Choy, but it's all about the timings. And I don't think that's going to be enough for Guzzi and the Zuxel to really mount a challenge for the top 9. It's going to be tough for those two. We focus on them because they're both good laser runners. So, 1 down, 2 to go.
Top 12 athletes remaining, so things are gonna start heating up. Everyone trying to get into those top 9.
This is the meaty part of the battle for 9th, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So there we go, our middle bunch of athletes. Wu, Rinaldo, Ezez, Casti, Fu and Meyer.
Representing Switzerland, Vivian Meyer. Lane 2, representing China, Jing Fu. Lane 3, representing France, Casti. Lane 4, representing Hungary, Noemi. Lane 5, representing Italy, Rinaldo. And lane 6, representing China, Rinaldo.
So there's the announcement for the 6 athletes in the second swimming heat. This is where the battle for 9th place will really hot up. In 7th place currently is Meyer, in 8th is Fu, in 9th is Casti, in 10th is Ezez. But swimming could well really mix up that order, with Meyer in 7th place, slower in the pool than the chasing pack.
Yeah, Fu and Rinaldo are for sure gonna try to get those points on Vivian Meyer now. We're gonna be seeing some changes in the ranking after the swimming. Some of the athletes are slower in the pool.
So, opening 100 meters is nearly complete as we approach the halfway stage. It's tight. And we'll see the split timings at the halfway stage. Let's take a look then. It's close between lanes 6 and 2, I think.
Rinaldo and Fu leading the pack.
Azer's not far behind either. Wu and Casti keeping pace. Meyer not too far off either. Meyer's predicted time was a 2:29. I think she's going to do better than that, but let's stick with the athletes. Rinaldo, the quickest athlete in the pool in these opening stages, the opening 100 meters, halfway through, and we're approaching the wall now for the final turn.
Rinaldo extending the lead from Fu.
There is Rinaldo. Fu not far behind. Final few meters then. And Rinaldo and Fu are a cut above the rest in this battle for 9th place. Rinaldo's going to shoot up the standings. This is a solid swim from the Italian. Elise Rinaldo about to touch the wall, though Fu, I think, has got just ahead, possibly. Fu wins it. Great swim from Fu. Rinaldo coming in 2nd place. 3rd is Casti, 4th is Azez. 5th is Wu, and Meyer in the end with just a 2:32. And that's going to really mix up the standings, and that's going to put her out of the top 9. And you're going to see now the scores updated in front of your very eyes. Casti still hanging on to 9th place. Azez in 10th. But there's not a gap now between those chasing pack. Yeah, Ayanet could be one to keep an eye on in those battle for the top 9. Currently in 5th place, a slower swimmer. The other 5 swimmers in swimming heat 3, quite quick.
Yeah, she's gonna try to keep up as much as she can. She has the slowest time. Other than that, we have quite even heat, so most of the athletes are going to be pacing each other.
And now, please welcome the participants of the 3rd heat. Lane 1, representing Italy.
So here we go then, folks, our 3rd and final swimming heat as the athletes make their way poolside. It's a battle between Tongyeti, Whitaker, Gabovnik, Ishmael, Ayanet and Shin for dominance heading into the laser run. These are your 6 highest ranked athletes from the first 2 disciplines. Whitaker and Tongyeti have been in a battle of their own. Tongyeti has built quite a big lead at the front. Surely from here, she will be safely through to the final. But who knows, this is pentathlon and anything can change. The calm before the storm, and swimming heat 3 gets us underway. Tongyeti, Whitaker, Gabovnik, Ishmael, Ayanet and Shin battling away in the pool. Up to 10 years in difference between these athletes. Ayanet, the youngster, 17 years of age. So full 50-meter size pool, and the turn comes in. You can see the stroke technique from the various different athletes there. Tongyetti leading the competition. In second place at the moment, it's Shin who leads. Karpovnik with a PB of 2:16 could be the quickest swimmer in this heat. Shin leads though. Malak Ishmael's in second, Karpovnik in third. Fourth is Tongyetti in the end. It's fifth Whitaker, sixth Ayanet. 1:07 the times by Shin at the 100-meter mark.
Shin is getting some comfortable lead, which she's gonna be happy to get, as she's ranked 6th at the moment.
Yeah, this could be helpful for Shin in her ploy to get inside that top 9 places. We're in the final 50 meters of the swimming discipline. Athletes battling for dominance now. Who touches the wall first? Will it be Sumin Shin? This is where they really start to tire. You can see Tongyetti's dropped back a little bit further than perhaps she would have wanted. It's going to be Shin who takes the win. Shin first, Malak Ishmael in second place. Third goes to Tongyetti. Fourth is Karpovnik, Whitaker in fifth. Sixth is Ayanet, and that's a decent swim time by Ayanet, who's going to consolidate her position there. How far will she drop though? She's already below you. She's already going below Whitaker, but it will be a 4th place. No, it'll be a top 7 place for Ayanet. So that's the biggest drop from that swimming mix up there in those top 6. But you can see things have closed up beautifully, and we're in for a good laser run, Marlena.
We're on the last stretch. Athletes are already starting to gather at the shooting range.
So, 2:32. We've got 11 minutes until the start of the laser on. We will get some interviews with some of the athletes. Around 10 minutes to the start of laser on. Anticipation is growing.
Last push of the day before we know all 18 finalists.
Tongyetti has a good lead. It's nearly 20 seconds over Whitaker. Whitaker, Karpovnik, Ishmael. But looking further down, all eyes on Rebecca Casti in 9th place. Ezez in 10th, Mayer in 11th. What's that gap? 8:02. It's only 15 seconds between 9th and 12th. What about further down? So 8:02 is the score we're looking at. 7:71 is quite a drop off there, 31 seconds. So I think these places here, it's going to be difficult. Can Blanca Guzzi make up over 50 seconds? Not impossible. Azuxel, I would say it's going to be very tough for Azuxel. Those two historically quite quick laser runners. Can they turn that into a place in the final? We'll find out next. Let's recap the swimming before officially building up to the start of our final combined discipline. Build up beginning then for the start of the laser run. We have completed the swimming discipline. Obstacle, that's old news. Fencing, direct elimination, that seems like years ago. It's all about the laser run now, with 5 laps of this 600-meter course. The difference now between having a good day and between getting through to the final. First lap is the formation lap. You just have to run around that one. Then, after lap 2 begins, it's the dreaded shooting lanes. That's where the competition can be make or break from a lot of these athletes. So time of 10 seconds is what they'll all be aiming for, or less. More than that, and the heart starts to pump, the panic starts to set in, and you can lose your grip on not just the pistol, but your place in this competition. Women's semi-final B, we already know who our first 9 athletes for the final will be. A lot of them have turned up to watch now. It's now time to conclude the competition and to make our running order, if you like, for the final part of this competition. The final, which will take place on Sunday. All right, let's see what this course looks like with the point of view on the athletes' heads. Here we go. So that's the run to the shooting range. What goes through your mind at this point?
You know, I like the new format that we start with a running lap, because you don't need to overthink the first shooting, which was seen before. We can see the athlete shooting great, going through. And we're gonna be able to see the running course, running next to the swimming pool and going out of the venue.
Marco, the coach from China, just looking on in the sidelines. We tried to get him on the commentary box to give us his expert thoughts, but he's busy. He's got athletes to look out for. Can you just say a quick hello, Marco? Can you just say hi to the fans watching around the world?
But you gotta say hello in Chinese.
Yes. Marco, one of the most experienced coaches out there. He's worked for the British team, he's worked for the French team, he's now working for the Chinese team. This man travels around the world. There's not many more that know pentathlon better than Marco. That's good to hear. A quick hello from Marco. I'm not even sure that microphone worked, by the way, so maybe they heard him, maybe they didn't. We heard him. Just looking at the final stages of the laser run. Past the VIP tent, down past the crowd, and over the finish line. And on Sunday, this will be the moment of glory, won't it, Marlena, where you taste the win.
For sure, all those athletes are gonna be crossing that line first.
Let's hear from one of the Lithuanian athletes. I think it's Casti. She didn't quite qualify for the final, but she's got some good insight into what it takes to warm up for the laser run.
So transition from swimming to laser run is really fast, especially when you swim in the last heat, because usually it's like 6 heats, I think, in the competition. And if you swim, for example, in the first one, you have maybe like 10 or 15 minutes more than the last heat. And usually in like U19 World Championships or something, I swim in the last heat, so I have very short transition to swimming, from swimming to laser run, and I think my heartbeats are like very high, and it's very hard to breathe because after swimming you just like need air but you don't have it, and then you have to run to the stadium, prepare, and then run, and then you have 5 minutes or less from the start line, so it's like very, very hard for me. So after swimming, with my coach, as he said, we always just start running. Like we run maybe 800 meters or less, like it depends how much time we have. And then I come to the shooting area, and I did like a few shooting series just to feel that shooting like moment and something. And then we do some like fast runnings with shooting, and then just the time ends and we have to come to the start line and just prepare for the very, very hard running.
Hearing the thoughts there then of an athlete who's telling us what it's like to get yourself ready for the start of laser run. Aurora Tongyeti will start in first place. We don't have the official start list yet, but when we do get it, we will give you an idea of where everybody's going to be starting and what advantages the athletes have. Tongyeti's got a solid start, by the way, unofficially. We can see the start list on our screens here. 19 seconds, Tongyeti leads over Whitaker. Whitaker a couple of seconds ahead of Kabovnik. Malak Ishmael in 4th, Shin in 5th, Fu in 6th place. But we want to see Rebecca Casti, who's in 9th place. And yet, Rinaldo and Casti. Ezez 3 seconds further back, Meyer 3 behind, so just 9 seconds separating 9th and 11th. And then a further 6 seconds back, 15 from the top positions is Suzuki. And I think that's probably as ambitious as you can get, because Wu and Choy are quite a big gap there. If Guzzi and Uzuksal do come back, we're going to have to get the calculators out, because that's where it gets tricky to work it out.
I think we've seen them do it before, so I'm not going to be surprised if they manage to do it. They have a 50 seconds, so that's a big gap.
So the athletes just making their way now to the start line for the beginning of the laser run.
And the swimming event as well. And it was like 2 blinks and we are already here at the laser event. 18 athletes and just 9 of them can qualify for the Super Sunday finals.
So we are close to knowing who our 9 athletes are going to be to complete the 18.
Fast knock from Rebecca.
Needs to do 5 successful hits on the target. 1 successful hit is shown by a green light above their head. And after 5 green lights, they can continue the running part of the laser run event.
So Whitaker and Tongyeti will start in 1st and 2nd place.
1 minute to the start.
1 minute away from the start. So we're just moments away then from the start of the final semi-final laser run for the women's semi-finals. Tongyeti, Whitaker with the advantage, but Tongyeti 19 seconds ahead. She's going to take some catching, Marlena.
You know, unfortunately, we've seen her dropping before, so she still, nothing is sure. She still got to do the work.
5, 4,
One thing that is certain in life is that there is nothing certain in pentathlon. Aurora Tongyeti leads the way in semi-final B with a 19-second head start, not just over the top 9, but over 2nd place. Rebecca Casti starting in 9th place is 54 seconds off the lead. In fact, she's 57 seconds ahead of Naomi Ezez. Good to see Whitaker at the front. Good to see Kabovnik chasing just behind. Malak Ishmael looking as assured as ever. Shin in 5th. Fu in 6th. Eniata away. This is where things start to get interesting. You can see Castelli's dancing. She can't sit still, can she? So Casti didn't quite manage to qualify for the Olympic Games. It was Orteza and Clouvel who managed to compete in front of their home crowd, but I think Casti very much with her sights on a place for LA.
Absolutely, that's her idea. Of course, she's part of a big team, so it's not easy to just qualify against them. It's a battle itself.
it
And
really is.
after Howran, the rest athletes
You can see
will start.
Casti is already
And the
all over the back
1:30,
of Rinaldo.
1 minute 30 seconds
And the
mark.
gap between
Choy
Casti and
is
Ezes was only 3 seconds, but they've
Choy.
already dropped Ezes. In fact, where is Ezes? She's there, and that's quite a gap. So Casti putting a lot into this first lap.
For sure, not losing time.
So 15 seconds, the gap now between Tongyetti and Whitaker. Whitaker's already made up 4 seconds. Gabovnik's been dropped by a few seconds, so Whitaker's looking quick on that first lap. Malak Ismail and Shumin Shin. Shumin Shin has caught up Malak Ismail, who's pacing herself on this first lap. Ayanet and Fu 40 seconds off the lead. Casti and Rinaldo.
SS Noemi coming from behind, trying to catch up with the top 9.
Yeah, this is a really interesting start to the race because SS is keeping those in front a little bit tense. Suzuki's come from further back and has moved up into 11th place. So let's keep an eye on the Suzuki and Mayer battle as the athletes already at the range, the leaders, Whitaker and Tongyetti. Tongyetti struggling at the range again. Whitaker with a 15, 16 second shoot. Tongjetti's been caught out here. Gabovnik moves up and Tongyetti, oh, she's in trouble. It's 3 out of the 5 for Tongyetti. Is she going to time out on this first shoot?
That's not the way you want to start it.
It's not good for the Italian. Shin's up there. And Tongyetti had a 50-second advantage and she's lost it. It's a timeout for Tongyetti, who leaves the range, and she's going to be crestfallen. Ayanet moves up. So, Casti with a great shoot, 10 seconds. What about Ezes? Fu with a 22-second shoot, so it's all changed, and we did say that anything can change. And look at that, now Tongyetti in with a battle. She's in 8th place. What about the battle for 9th place? Rinaldo and Ezes are locked, and Tongyetti is now in for the fight of her life. Tongjetti's dropped out of the top 9.
No, Tongjetti's still in top 9.
Yeah, apologies, our graphics have just taking a minute to catch up there, but...
But Alicia Rinaldo has dropped out of top 9, so it's SS Noemi that took over.
The battle between the 2 Italians, between Rinaldo and Tongyetti. So we can't trust those graphics on the left-hand side at the moment. We can confirm Whitaker leads. Gabovnik in 2nd place.
We have Malak Ismail and Sumin Shan from Korea. Tongjetti's 5th at the moment. But she cannot afford more of those shootings.
There you can see Ayanet followed by Fu and Ezes in that battle for 8th and 9th. And it's Rinaldo, as you said, who's dropped out of that battle for the top 9. So Rinaldo in 10th place, Suzuki in 11th. Suzuki's been fairly consistent. Whitaker already back at the range, by the way. 3 out of the 5 for Whitaker. Misses her 4th shot. 4 out of the 5 for Whitaker. 5 out of 5 for Whitaker. Whitaker's on fire. 11-second shoot for Whitaker. Now, Gabovnik's at the range. Sumin Shin and Ismail are shooting as well. Great shoot from Gabovnik, an 8.3. Sub-10 for Malak Ismail. Shin with a 15-second shoot. Tongyetti shooting much better this time. But it's this is where she got stuck before. It's 4 out of 5 for Tongyetti. Brilliant. There we go. That's more like it.
Much better.
Casti with another good shoot. Ayanet with a good shoot. Now the battle for 9th kicks in. Fu and Ezes. Fu is away and Ezes is away. What about Rinaldo and Suzuki? Can they keep the pressure on the front 9? Rinaldo needs to get this done and dusted. She's struggling on the 5th shot. Zuxel's on her way back, by the way, but that's where we're going to have to get our calculators out because Zuxel is 2 minutes off the pace. So Zuxel, if she finishes in 9th place, she has to be finished a minute above 9th. So Zuxel's out. Despite if she does make her way into that top 9, Azuxal, we
It
cannot
still doesn't
include.
mean that
No.
she has qualified.
So, Fu and Rinaldo. Are in a battle. Azuxal's moved up, but she needs to finish a minute above 9th place, which is a little bit confusing. Ezez and Fu is really where this battle lies. Whitaker, Ishmael, Shin and Kobovnik in a league of their own. Tongyetti recovering on the second round of shooting. Castaudi's done very well to consolidate a top 9 position. She started in 9th place, don't forget, is now in 6th. Ayanet, the young Egyptian on your screens there, closely followed by Ezez and Fu. That's your top 9. Azuxal's clearly one of the fastest runners out there, but has to finish a minute above 9th place. So actually you have to look back to Rinaldo to see that closest battle for the top 9. A little bit complicated, but bear with us. We're in shooting routine 3. Emma Whitaker at the range at the moment. This is slower from Whitaker, but that's okay. She's got time to play with. And she's in a league of her own as Ishmael and Shin arrive shoulders to shoulder. Kobovnik's at the range now as well. And keep your eyes on Tongyetti and Castaudi, who are arriving.
Ismail with a great shooting.
Ooh, 6.8. Kobovnik with a 7.8. It must be so intimidating when you're seeing athletes posting 6-second shoots all around you. Castaudi with a 10-second shoot. Tongjetti's with 2 out of the 5. Ayanet and Ezez might move past Tongyetti here, though Tongyetti makes it 4 out of the 5. And it's a 20-second shoot for Tongyetti. She's still consolidating, and she's had to work a lot harder than she would have liked. Now, Fu and Ezez at the range. There's a chance now for Rinaldo if she can shoot faster here. I think Azuxal's already out of the range, by the way. This is... Let's not rule this out, by the way. Azuxal has moved provisionally into the top 9, but she needs to make up a minute.
She does, and that's lots of time. She has only 1 more shooting left, 2 laps on the running.
So, we'll just take a moment to recapture ourselves here, because the battle is still, I think it's between Ezez and Rinaldo now, isn't it? Because if we disclude Azuxal from that top 9 battle.
Apparently the Chinese athlete overtook Rinaldo.
Wu seems to have gone ahead of Rinaldo. We'll wait for the timings to catch up, and then we should be able to describe the action a little bit more accurately on that final lap. So Whitaker, Ishmael, Shin, Castaudi, Kobovnik, Azuxal and Tongyetti. Ayanet in 8th place. Azuxal, though, we know we have to add a minute on. So if she finishes a minute above 9th, she could still make it through to the final. This is brilliant from Azuxal. Fu and Ezez are in effectively 9th place. So it's Wu. So Rinaldo and Wu are the biggest threat to the top 9 as things stand, unless can Azuxal perform a miracle. She needs to make up on 9th place. I mean, it's hard to work out the exact sums here, because if Azuxal finishes ahead of Ezez, the gap between them was a minute and 4 seconds, I want to say. So she needs to finish a minute and 4 seconds ahead of Ezez. Anyway, they're going to have to work the maths out after this, because it's confusing, and Azuxal's already moved up into 5th place. Azuxal needs to absolutely fly on this final lap. Tongjetti's with a good shoot there. Ayanet got caught in a battle that she didn't want to be in. 17 seconds, she's good. Fu and Ezez are away. So it becomes a question now of how far ahead can Azuxal get? Can she perform the Great Escape? Wu and Fu at the range. Rinaldo seems to have dropped out of this. So effectively think of this as a battle for the top 10. And the Turkish coaches have just stormed past with their watches out.
for the 9th position.
Ilke is already in 3rd position.
Blanka Guzzi's coming back as well, by the way. There is all sorts going on here. And those with quick maths will have an advantage here because you have to work out exactly what these athletes have to do. Ilka Özüksel has moved up into 2nd place. This is unbelievable. Özüksel is giving this absolutely everything, knowing that each second will make a difference. Usually this is a battle of the top 9, but given the precarious situation that Özüksel is in, she knows she has to give this absolutely everything. So, Ilka Özüksel is fighting for her life here. She's going to cross the line in 1st place, but it's all about time here. She has to make up such a big time. Has Ilka Özüksel performed the Great Escape? She crosses the finish line, and either way is a winner in my eyes. Whitaker comes home in 2nd place, Casti in 3rd, and this really puts a different dynamic on things. Very unusual semi-final, this. The Turkish coaches don't quite know. They're waiting for the athletes to cross the line. I think Özüksel's in with a chance here. Let's take a look at the gaps. I think they're a little bit too casual. Shin, Ishmael, Karbovnik and Tomyeti, they should be okay. It's going to be Ezes and Eniets. What about Guzzi? It's Blanka Guzzi, but then again it's confusing because Guzzi is so far back. It's going to be about whether Wu or not has enough of a...
So it's everything, it's up to the Chinese.
Let's have a look at the gap. It's not going to be Guzzi that's going to get in. 46. And it's Fu, 46. I don't think Özüksel's done it. I don't think she's done it. Oh, my goodness me. That was just a mixture of exhilaration and confusion because...
You know, that was insane performance from Ilke, but I'm not sure that was not enough, was it?
I don't think it was. I think Özüksel was missed out by about 15 seconds in the end. We will wait for the official classifications, which honestly I don't think are going to come on this broadcast.
Anyhow, that was an...
Özüksel's through! I've just been told in my ears that Ilka Özüksel is through.
Impressive.
We're getting looks by some of the coaches that we might be giving false information here, but the word in our headphones is...
I don't think they're still aware.
...is that Ilka Özüksel is through. We're just going to take a moment here to consolidate. So we've been told officially by Florent Boas, the media manager, that Ilka Özüksel is through. Jamie Cook, the Great Britain performance coach, is shaking his head. He doesn't agree.
I'm not certain, but we're gonna...
Well, hang on a minute. We're seeing the scores being updated in front of our eyes here. Özüksel's gone. She seems happy. I mean, you would be, wouldn't you? Because that was an amazing laser run. If Özüksel's done this, by the way, it changes everything. I don't think it's been done before. Not a handicap start like that.
Outstanding performance from Ilke Özüksel.
We're being told the official line is that Özüksel has qualified. We can only go with the information that's being given to us. We don't have the calculators in the commentary box, but we've been told Özüksel has performed a near miracle.
We're gonna get the official results very shortly.
I mean, that was a stunning end to the semi-final because you don't normally see someone sprinting over the line like that.
You can see so many uncertain faces right now.
Yeah, everyone's confused. I mean, Aliyah Aniet just makes her way past us. She doesn't know if she's through.
At least she knows, exactly.
Yeah.
That's something certain. Emma Whitaker is through as well.
Yeah, Whitaker is definitely through. Well, semi-finals, I think, are one of the best products Pentathlon have to offer. Okay, we are about to see official confirmation on your screens now, folks. Just seeing the replays of Emma Whitaker, but I think we're going to see Ilka Özüksel slipping in 9th place. attention. Don't go anywhere. We're waiting for confirmation. If we've done our calculations correct, Marlena's just been quickly calculating numbers in the background. I've never seen someone adding and subtracting so quickly. Züksel crossing the line as if her life depended on it, which it nearly did. Who misses out? I think it was Fu who missed out in the end. So we're gonna see the reaction of Ilkka Züksel as she gets the score. She's done it! Ilkka Züksel has performed a miracle. She started in 17th and has made it all the way up to first in the unofficial standings and 9th place.
What a great performance from the Turkish athlete.
Unbelievable.
You can see some
Amazing
happy tears.
scenes. Ilkka Züksel in floods of tears. Jing Fu just made her way past the commentary box, not looking happy. Ilkka Züksel is delighted. She has performed a miracle. Let's take a look at the standings now. We'll rifle past those top 6 because we know what's happened there. Whitaker, Casti, Kabovnik, Ishmael, Shin and Tongyetti. Well done to you. And wait for it, folks. This is the moment we've been building up to. The official confirmation. There it is. Ilkka Züksel has snuck in front of Jing Fu. Ayanet in 7th, Ezeth in 8th. And Ilkka Züksel has made it up into 9th place in by far the most dramatic moment in semi-final history of this sport.
She's gonna be pleased with that performance.
I'm just looking for her. She's probably warming down now. She's overcome the tears. That was amazing. Ilkka Züksel is such a stunning athlete. To have done that, to have motivated herself. She must have shot so quickly. All right, folks, well, that's just a little taster of what's to come over the rest of the next couple of days. We have men's semi-finals tomorrow, and we'll conclude things with the final on Sunday. Who would rule out Ilkka Züksel picking up a medal at this point? You just never know with pentathlon. We will be back, folks, tomorrow for the conclusion of semi-finals, and then it's Super Sunday. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.